Here we are in London, right, standing in front of the Malmaison in London, and I'm sitting here with Peter Parks, who's the chief blogger of Skype, and Robert Scoble, who we all know and love. So I was curious, we were talking about sort of corporate blogging through the ages, right? And Robert, you, I'd love to hear your perspective. I mean, obviously you started this a long, long time ago with Microsoft and are doing completely different things now, of which some of that is integrated corporate storytelling and so forth. Yep. How do you think it's changed?
Well, in the early days, it was a lot more risk-taking, and corporations didn't understand what it was and were skittish about it. Now there's a lot more corporate acceptance of blogging, although there's still not very many companies that have bloggers throughout the entire, or Twitterers for that matter, throughout the corporation. You know, Zappos stands out because they have 400 employees on Twitter, and that seems very weird still. A lot of companies are just getting one or two Twitterers or Twitter accounts, and so we're still in the early days of really understanding why a company would let normal employees talk to customers about what they're doing.
And I think, you know, that sort of describes where we are at the moment with Skype. Skype has a few employees who are blogging, we have a few Twitter accounts, but for us it's, we're still at that stage. It's very much an integrated part of the PR and marketing environment at Skype, and it's, you know, it's something that we've always done. Skype has always had blogs. But at the same time, I think it does take some confidence in both the product and the people and the company at an organisational level before any organisation would be willing to let just anyone speak. I think Zappos is a great example of that. They have a culture which is geared around that use of the social web, and I think that's pretty unique.
Back a little bit. So it seems like Skype, at least from the interactions that I've had, they really believe in social media. It's important to them. It's integrated into their corporate culture. Talk about your role sort of as chief blogger. What does that mean for Skype in 2009?
I guess it means three things. One is a very straightforward communications role. I tell reasonably simple messages to a global audience with the help of a network of bloggers who do the same thing in local languages around the world. I read and respond and interact with thousands and thousands of pieces of feedback, questions, comments, complaints that people have in the social web, and our approach is very much to talk to users wherever they may be. So if they come to our customer support people, then we talk to them there, but equally if they want to voice their concerns on their blog, then we'll have that conversation there. And the third part is really looping all of that back into both product and corporate strategy. So whether it's taking user feedback and using that to enhance the product, or taking what we're finding out on the web and feeding that back into the company so that we can make the product better.
What other social media tools are you using?
So we have our own blogs, we have a forum on the Skype website, we have Twitter accounts, we have a Facebook page, and we also, as I say, our aim really is to reach users where they are. So if we come across a community of users somewhere, for example, there are actually two Skype education wikis set up by people who use Skype in schools, and we'll go where the users are.
And you said Twitter accounts. Is that all the employees, or?
No, so we have a main Twitter account, Skype, and that's very pure product announcements. And in addition, I'm Peter at Skype on Twitter, and I respond to complaints, comments, and questions.
And building relationships with those.
Yeah.
How has that changed? How has your job changed over the last 3 years? Because you've been at Skype, since 2006?
I haven't. I've been involved with Skype since 2006. And it was interesting to look at the organisation then and look at it now. So back in 2006, blogging and the social web was a sort of add-on. Now the communications part are integrated within the PR and marketing function, and the sort of feedback parts are very well integrated within product teams. So we have a dedicated person whose job it is to gather all of this feedback from users, whether that's from the social web or from questionnaires and surveys. But that's totally new, and that wasn't there 3 years ago.
Anything else you'd like to add, Robert?
No, the world is changing to be faster because of the Twitter and Facebook and friend feed. and more small. Back in the early days, I would always write a longer blog post when I was writing about Microsoft. Today I would be far more interactive and talk on small micro-messaging, micro-blogging tools, which is a different kind of skill.
And I think it's refreshing that communication has become, that sort of communication has become an absolutely acceptable way to announce products, to talk about a change in the company. All of that, to think that, 3 years ago, the thought of writing even 140 characters or writing four sentences, that would have been seen as sort of unnecessarily brief. In the days of the 3-page press release, that would have seemed bizarre. But now it's actually quite refreshing to be able to work in an environment where brevity is appreciated, where clarity and simplicity win. And that's, on a personal level, but that's what I enjoy about this sort of, if you call it communication or community involvement.
Are you guys using a lot of video yet?
We use video a lot internally. We don't use video as much as we would like externally, and that's something that we're thinking about doing more of. It's a challenge really, because video content on the web can be great, is often bad. It isn't search engine indexable. There are lots of challenges that we need to overcome, but I think as a company that is based around video communication, it's something that we're definitely looking to do more of.
Great, thanks very much for joining us today.
Thanks, Renee.